Hey everybody, welcome back to another Vanguard versus. Once again, we have Celestials and Eradicators, but this time I am reversed, using reverse Ramiel as my boss Vanguard this time around. The build is slightly different in that all the Hesedials are gone because there are no Zoroastrials in the deck, and they were basically replaced with Arabakis and a couple of Battle Cupid Nausiels to help out with damage manipulation. So, as you can see, I'll use Pendiel's effect to bring out Narelle, and I'm going to use Narelle's effect to put Danielle into the damage zone for future rearguard support. Attack reveals Ramiel reverse as the drive check. So now Omega will ride Thunderboom Dragon, and he's going to go in for the attack for 15,000. And then I realize that his Forerunner has the ability where he can retire grade 1 or less units instead of just grade 0s as I initially thought. So now I just let this one go. Critical trigger off the top. Power and critical both going to the attack. 2 damage. Ramiel reverse for the first and for the second. And here I probably should have used Danielle's effect to bring her out to the rear guard, but I guess I forgot about that as I ride Ramiel. And I think I realize that now as I don't have that much support for rear guards. Sometimes it's tough to keep track of all your Angel Feather effects, especially with back in the day when you have so many damage manipulators, you don't know what to do with them. So this stack is going to go for 13, no guard here, Sariel for the first, draw trigger for the second, power going to the rear guard, Ramiel. And 16 going to the Vanguard, doesn't guard that either. And it looks like Demolition Dragon for the damage. So now, Flowing Sword Dragon is now his Vanguard. Spark Rain, Demolition Dragon, and Kokaiji, along with Thunderboom. So this is going to be 23,000 directed to Vanguard. No guard here, Thunderboom Dragon for the first check, and Cho-Oh for the second. Heal trigger off the top. Power is going to the rear guard Ramiel, and one of the Ramiel reverses is going to get healed. So now it's going to get tough to get rid of my rear guards because I have basically 0 to no rear guard support in hand, as Danielle will come into the rear guard circle and replaces herself with another Danielle. So now this next attack is 12,000 from Spark Rain directed to Danielle, and I decided to let that one go, basically as a redirection from the Vanguard. And it looks like 17,000, looks like it's going to the rear guard Ramiel, I think. See what happens here if I guard or not, and it is to the rear guard, so I let that one go. So that power basically, well, I wouldn't say it's gone to waste. Just try to make him attack the Vanguard since it's an easier target, but doesn't want me to go to that 4th damage as I go ahead and put down Raguel. And this attack is for 13. Question is, do I go after the Vanguard, risk putting him at 4? And looks like I'm going to Vanguard. It looks like I have a good enough hand to justify that, as heal trigger off the top will give power to Raguel and heal the face down heal trigger. Spark Rain Dragon, damage for Omega. So now this is going to be 17,000 going to Vanguard. And he's going to take that as well. Another Spark Rain going into the damage zone. So now Omega is at limit break mode. So let's see which unit he'll ride to break ride. And it looks like Draconic Descendant is going to be the Vanguard. And he's going to retire Raguel from Flowing Sword Dragon's effect. So now he's got almost a full field to an empty field on my side. So it looks like he's going to go straight to attacks here. This is he's going to attack alone for 21,000. I'll just take it. Heal trigger off the top. And he's going to give the power to Thunderboom. And critical trigger. Giving the critical to the Vanguard. See where he gives the power to. Also giving the power to Thunderboom. So deciding not to give any power to Spark Rain. I think I would have given at least one of the trigger's powers to Spark Rain to at least force out a 10k shield on my part. Because the more 10k shields that I use up, then the less likely of me guarding later on in the game. So this is going to be 12 directed to Danielle, which I will guard with a draw trigger. So now this is a big attack of 27,000. Normally this would go to the Vanguard, because either that'll force me to get my 5th damage, or I'm going to have to eat up a lot of pan, but he goes to the rear guard anyway. So I easily let that one go. So that could have been a big opportunity for him to use up some of my hand right there. But my turn, and I am in limit break mode as well, so it looks like I'm going to be riding Ramiel. Going to be returning one card from the damage zone to my hand. Looks like it's going to be Aniel. And heal trigger goes to the damage zone, which is almost unfortunate, but it keeps me at limit break mode. And then Sariel's going to come in. Going to flip over the heal trigger and bring out one Angel Feather from the deck and put it into the damage zone and take one face-up card and place it into the drop zone. As to which one, might want to put down rear guard support just so I can get it from a later break ride or something else, but I decided to put down Ramiel reverse and then send that same one to the drop zone just to get rid of the grade 3s and basically just try and make it more likely that I will draw drive check a trigger. So as you can see from my hand, I have basically no grade 1s aside from perfect guards, and there's like no rear guard support for me at all. Just triggers and another Sariel, it looks like. So I'm forced to lay down a draw trigger there for rear guard support, and this is 13,000 to Vanguard. Oh wait, this is 23 with the break ride power. So Aniel for the first check and Norel for the second check. So doesn't quite get through. So now this is an attack for 13,000. More than likely going to rear guard. And it is going to Thunderboom Dragon. Just to try and weaken his field. So now Omega probably going to fill up those rear guard circles. As to which unit, looks like Thunderboom is going to the back rear guard so that he can use Cho-Oh's effect to send him straight to Soul to retire one of my rear guards. In this case, Sariel. So this is going to be a simple 11k attack to Vanguard. And I am going to be guarding for a 2 to pass, so critical trigger off the top. So now, decision time. Is he going to give both to the Vanguard, or maybe give both to the rear guards, or maybe split the trigger? Because if he gives both to Vanguard, there's a chance that the next trigger might put him over. Next card might be a trigger that'll put him over the top. However, I believe he knows that I have a perfect guard in hand from the last drive check. So if he does take this risk, maybe at the very least he might put the critical onto one of his rearguard units and the power onto the Vanguard, just so that there is more pressure into me guarding one of the attacks. But, you know, it's a tricky decision for him. The safest bet is to give both the power and the critical to one of the rear guards, more specifically Cho-Oh, and which he does. So the next check is gold, and it looks like he's going to be using Descendant's effect. Discard 3 Eradicator units, and he'll be able to restand them. Still deciding on which units to discard. One of them is a critical trigger, but he'll be able to get an extra attack in. This is going to be for 21 with 2 criticals. This is going to get perfect guarded. Descendant and Kokaiji for the drive checks. So this next attack is going to be from Thunderbroom, maybe? He does have that extra critical. So this is 21,000. So need to guard with 15,000 shield. I do have the other perfect guard in hand, but if I don't use it, I have to use a 10k shield and one of my rear guard supports. So I opt to use the perfect guard here. So this is 12,000. Opting to take it. Narel is the damage. So now my turn. And finally I get to use Ramiel Reverse as the Vanguard. So Break Ride, get to return 1 unit from the damage zone to hand. And then top card to damage zone. And it happens to be Danielle. Danielle has been such a great card for this deck. It's proving to be a really useful asset in terms of getting rearguard support and just helpful for being fodder to put into the damage zone. As you can see right there, I use Narel to put a Celestial into the damage zone to bring back a key card, and then use Danielle's effect to bring her out to the rearguard circle. Although I made a slight mistake here, I was supposed to get Narel from the damage zone from the other Narel's effects, so I can put a unit behind Ramiel Reverse. And the reason being is that even though it's going to get locked due to Ramiel Reverse's effect, that still takes away a guard from my hand. As you can see, I had to lay down a heal trigger as one of the units. So Ramiel's Limit Break locked 2 of my Celestials. I get to choose 1 card in his damage zone, put it into the drop zone, and now Omega will choose one of his units to put into the damage zone. And he'll choose his Demolition Dragon. So this attack, 10k from the Break Ride, and another 2,000 from Ramiel being in the soul, plus 5,000 power to each of the units in the front row due to Ramiel's Limit Break. So this is 28,000 going to the Vanguard. And this is going to get perfect guarded. Arabaki for the first check, and a second one for the second check. So this is 16,000 going straight to Vanguard. And he decides to take this one. Descendant being the damage check. So this next attack is going to go for 21,000. And I believe he realizes here that, oh, shouldn't have taken that last one. So now he's going to use up 15,000 shield in order to guard this attack. And he does here. So now, units unlock, and Omega will take his draw. I don't know if he has any other units to put behind Cho-Oh and Spark Rain, but it looks like he's just going to go straight to the attack, boosting up Draconic Descendant by 5,000. Now he's going to go in for 16,000. And from the looks of my hand, here I realize that I barely have enough to just guard for a 1 to pass the entire way through. And after consideration, I think that's the best choice. because even if he gets one trigger, then the game is probably over. And again, that mistake from the last turn, not bringing Ramiel to the hand from the damage zone, that is going to cost me, as that is an extra 10k shield that I should have gotten. At the very least. So this is a 1 to pass. And the first check is a heal trigger. Actually, come to think of it, that shouldn't be a 1 to pass because I forgot about Ramiel Reverse's effect where Ramiel is in the soul, so that she'll continuously gain that 2000 power. So a mistake on my part, but you know, you'll see why it doesn't matter, as he will give it to power and another heal trigger. So he'll give power to rearguard even though it didn't matter. So I'll take that 6 damage, and that's going to be it. So mistake on my part, I gotta remember about Ramiel being in the soul and all that. But anyway, hey, if you guys like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe, as we'll be doing multiple Vanguard versus every single week. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.